Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Sign in Temple for 10 years, starting Zeno candidates. Chapter 51. After dozens of punches, Topo has completely turned into a pig's head. Most people can't recognize him at all. This guy is the captain of Team Pride. But at this time, Topo's consciousness has been completely lost. Although he squinted his eyes slightly, he didn't have any strength left. Brawly lifted Topo up. Although Topo was quite big, but Brawly picked him up right now, like he was holding a chicken. It looks extremely miserable. If other Proud team members know that this is their captain Topo, they will probably be very shocked. Topo. Jiren looked at Topo, who was like a dead pig, with a very ugly expression on his face. Anyway, Topo is their captain. Now he was beaten like this. Whoosh. In the next second, Jiren's body suddenly disappeared in place. A punch hit Brawly. Originally, he didn't want to take action against Brawly, because he felt that this guy's strength was not enough for him to take action. But this guy's growth rate is really too fast. In just a few seconds, the strength has undergone earth-shaking changes. It has to be said that he already has the qualifications to let himself make a move. Although Jiren's speed is very fast, Brawly can still see. Then he also greeted him with a punch. The moment the two fists touched, the whole space seemed to be silent for a moment. Then, a harsh buzzing sound stimulated everyone's eardrums. Whoosh! And Brawly's body flew upside down in this collision, flying thousands of feet away, smashing a huge mountain before stopping. You must know that although Brawly is much stronger than Topo at this time, there is still a gap between him and Jiren. If he can become the full power of Super Saiyan, maybe he can compete with Jiren. Jiren caught Topo and threw it to Dispo. Take him to the doctor first. Then he said indifferently, okay, that's up to you, Jiren. Dispo said a word, then his body flashed, and he left the battlefield with Topo directly. After Dispo and Topo left, Jiren looked at Liu Yu indifferently and said, next, it's your turn. Yes, courageous. You are indeed the strongest human being in the 11th universe, but do you think you will be my opponent? Looking at Jiren's indifferent gaze, Liu Yu asked with a smile. It is undeniable that Jiren's strength is indeed not bad. But if you want to compare yourself, that's still a long way off. Whether you are an opponent or not, you have to give it a try. Although you may be strong, I don't necessarily lose. Jiren said confidently. Is it? Then let's try it. Liu Yu continued to say with a smile. Cut. Jiren curled his lips, as if he was very displeased with Liu Yu's confident smile. You must know that in the 11th universe, he is the most powerful human being. Not even gods of destruction Vermut himself. If it is only about basic strength, even Vermut is still not his opponent. Of course, if he casts the gods of destruction skill, he is no match for gods of destruction. It is precisely because he is not even afraid of gods of destruction that he has developed such a confident and even conceited character. Looking at your appearance, it seems that you are quite unconvinced. If you remember this, then come and try. Seeing Jiren's unconvinced look, Liu Yu stretched out his index finger, ticked Jiren and said. Smug guy. Jiren's face suddenly became serious. Almost at the same instant, the body rushed directly to Liu Yu. The speed is so fast, Liu Yu feels that even gods of destruction Champa of the 6th universe may not be able to surpass Jiren in speed. So this guy's title of the strongest human being in the 11th universe is obviously not groundless. But his strength is indeed very strong. Swish. When there were still more than 10 meters away from Liu Yu's body, Jiren gave it with his fist, and then he punched Liu Yu with all his strength. With this punch, he almost used all his strength. Because he can feel the strength of this guy in front of him is very terrifying. Moreover, there is a more powerful power hidden in his body, although he may not be able to feel this powerful power. In your own intuition, you can never be wrong. If you don't fight with all your strength, it is impossible for you to be his opponent. But in the next second, Jiren's fist landed on the ground 30 centimeters in front of Liu Yu's eyebrows. Then it stopped abruptly. It was as if his fist was blocked by a mysterious and powerful force. The moment the fist was blocked, Jiren's face showed an unparalleled look of horror. No, I cannot. It's absolutely impossible. How could such a thing happen? Jiren's expression changed suddenly. Obviously, I couldn't believe what was happening in front of me. I have used all my strength, but I can't even touch this guy's body. Although he had already realized that he might be very powerful, he might not be her opponent. But with his full blow, he couldn't even touch his body. Isn't that too unacceptable? What's wrong? Jiren, the strongest human being in the 11th universe, does he only have this little power? If it's just like this, it's really a bit disappointing. Seeing Jiren's incomparably shocked expression, Lu Yu said lightly. It seems that his own strength is too strong. So Jiren is not worth mentioning in front of him. Don't get carried away. It wasn't all my strength just now. Although extremely shocked, after hearing Lu Yu's tone, Jiren said very unconvinced. Indeed, the strength of this guy in front of him is very, very terrifying. Just now, he had almost unleashed all his strength, but his fist was easily blocked by him. To be more precise, this guy didn't make a move at all, he blocked all his strength just by relying on the energy around his body. In fact, he knew very well in his heart that he was no match for this guy at all. However, as the #1 human being, Jiren naturally has his arrogance, and he will definitely not admit defeat so easily. Is that so? Then go ahead, but this time it's best to use your full strength, otherwise this kind of battle will be quite boring. Lu Yu still said in a flat tone. Asshole. Jiren's eyes blazed with anger. You must know that in the past few decades, I have never encountered such a situation. In the entire 11th universe, almost no one can compete with him. Now suddenly appeared such a powerful opponent. My all-out attack was easily blocked by others. This naturally made him unbearable. Aha! Suddenly, Jiren's arms shook and he roared. The whole earth began to tremble at this moment. Crimson flames burst out from his body in an instant. At the same time, the temperature of the entire planet increased at this moment. Jillian's body was wrapped in crimson flames, and her aura was very fierce. There have been earth-shaking changes from before. Obviously, in the past few years at this time, he has really shown his full strength. Oh, are you finally going to use all your strength? In this case, it seems to be interesting. However, if you want to be my opponent, you still have a long way to go. Looking at Jiren, whose body was surrounded by crimson arrogance, Lu Yu said calmly. The current Jiren is really strong, and has indeed reached the level of gods of destruction. But his own strength has surpassed even Angel, let alone Jiren who can only rival gods of destruction. Cut. Jiren frowned tightly, but this time she didn't speak. Clenching his fists tightly, the veins on his arms bulged. Whoosh. Then, Jiren's body rushed towards Lu Yu again. The speed and strength are significantly improved than before. Swish swish swish. This time Lu Yu didn't directly block Jiren's attack with the energy barrier. And I want to see the strength of Jiren after the outbreak. Jiren kept waving his fists, and each punch contained the power to destroy the world. Swish swish swish. Buzz buzz. It seemed that with every punch, even the air was shaken to rustle. In just a few seconds, Jiren has launched hundreds of attacks. But every time, Lu Yu would easily dodge him. It feels like a college student playing with a kindergarten kid. How about Jiren? Do you feel the gap between us? While avoiding Jiren's attack with ease, Lu Yu spoke provocatively. It is undeniable that Jiren is indeed strong among humans. As far as the current battle is concerned, it is really not fun. Although Jiren wanted to refute, but he couldn't. Because Lu Yu's strength far surpassed him, he seemed to be playing with himself from the very beginning. Although Jiren was very clear in his heart, he didn't think about giving up just like that. Because I have never been a quitter. Otherwise, it is impossible for the hatred buried in my heart to remain unforgotten for so many years. Jiren waved his fist wildly. At this time, he seemed to be attacking with no rhythm and no rules at all, and it was even more impossible to hit Lu Yu. And at this time in the Gods of Destruction world of the 11th universe. Gods of Destruction Vermut is enjoying delicious food accompanied by a group of maids. But his expression suddenly changed. Then he looked at Angel Makarita and said with a serious expression, Makarita, do you feel Jiren's energy? The reason why he asked this was because at that moment at the top, he felt that Jiren burst out with extremely powerful energy. You must know that in this universe, apart from himself and Angel Makarita, there is no one else who can be Jiren's opponent. So under normal circumstances, Jiren would never burst out with such terrifying energy. What did you do? Could it be that Jiren has found the murderer of his master? I feel it too, dear. Makarita nodded with a smile on her face, and continued, I not only felt the energy of Jiren, but I also felt the energy of Toppo and Dispo before. It's just that their energy disappeared very quickly, and it seems that they have been defeated. In fact, I already felt the anger of Toppo and Jiren just now. It's just that Vermut didn't say anything because he was busy. What did you say? Toppo defeated? Are you kidding me, Makarita? Toppo is the candidate for gods of destruction in our 11th universe. Who in this universe can defeat him? After hearing Makarita's words, Vermut asked in disbelief. In this universe, except for a few people, who can beat Toppo? Looking at the surprised, even unbelievable gods of destruction, Makarita continued, maybe it's not the people from our 11th universe who defeated them. Because just now, she also felt a very powerful breath of God that even made herself feel fear. This breath of God was something I had never felt in the 11th universe before. Because in the entire 11th universe, there are no gods at all except Lord Gods of Destruction Vermut, Candidate Gods of Destruction Toppo and Supreme Kai. So it is impossible to have the breath of God. Even Jiren, the first human being, does not contain the power of God in his body. So it is almost certain that this breath of God does not come from the 11th universe. But the gods of other universes. It just made her a little puzzled. Even the gods of destruction of other universes, it is absolutely impossible for her to have such a feeling of dread. As for Angel, I must be able to feel it. Who could it be? Makarita was also very surprised and curious. What? Did you say that the people who defeated Toppo and the others were not from our 11th universe? Vermut's expression suddenly changed, and his eyes flickered coldly. Are you kidding me? Someone dares to defeat the gods of destruction of the 11th universe in my 11th universe. Then he clenched his fist tightly. If this kind of thing really happened, it would be absolutely unforgivable. No matter which universe person, I will definitely teach him a good lesson. Let him know that if he wants to do something in his 11th universe, he will make them regret it. Makarita, take me there. Vermut pushed away his maids, and then said to Makarita in a cold tone. I am feeling bored these days. Unexpectedly, someone hit the gun at this time. If this is the case, they can only blame their bad luck. Yes, Lord Vermut. Makarita nodded, and then reminded, Master Vermut, I feel that the people who come to our 11th universe this time are not simple. And there seems to be a powerful divine breath in his body, so even if you want to do it later, try to ask as much as possible. This is also his kind reminder to why Dad. What? The breath of God. Is it gods of destruction from another universe? Vermut was taken aback. After finishing speaking, he immediately denied his own thoughts. No, if it's the gods of destruction from other universes, I can definitely feel them coming to the 11th universe. And know that under normal circumstances, the gods of destruction of each universe is only in charge of the things of each universe. I will not visit other universes. To be honest, I don't even know who he is. So you need to wait until the past to understand. Makarita said seriously. In fact, he was quite interested. This guy can actually make me feel afraid. Maybe he has strength not weaker than Angel, or even stronger than Angel. But among all the universes, there are those who are more powerful than Angel, except Master Zeno, Master Grand Priest and Zeno's 2 guards. It is estimated that there will be no one left. And those big shots are absolutely impossible for the 11th universe. Even if they come, they will not fight directly. Is that so? Then I'm even more curious. Being able to defeat Toppo shows that his strength is really extraordinary. Maybe I can exercise my muscles well. Vermut moved his wrist, and the corner of his mouth curled up in a sinister arc, and he said to himself. Come on, Makarita. Then he said something to Makarita, and the two disappeared in the gods of destruction world. But just on the other side. Although Jiren launched a storm-like attack, he still hasn't touched Liu Yu's body. No, it's impossible. How could there be such a powerful guy in this world? Even if it's gods of destruction, it's impossible to dodge all my attacks. Jiren's complexion became worse and worse. He really didn't expect that his strength had become so powerful. Still can't touch the other party's clothes. Okay, Jiren. You are no match for me at all. When I came here, I thought maybe you could give me a little fun in fighting, but now it seems that I overestimated you. Lu Yu looked at Jiren with an ugly face and said. But thinking about it is also right, I shouldn't have too many expectations of him. You must know that in the Dragon Ball Super, this guy can at best be tied with Son Goku, who has been perfect and comfortable. And I have comprehended the perfect Ultra Instinct normally. His own strength has even reached the level of Angel. In this case, how could he be his opponent? But just now Lu Yu felt that Gods of Destruction Vermut and Angel Makarita were already coming this way. Maybe the two of them can bring me a little bit of fighting fun. Stop looking down on people. After hearing Lu Yu's plain words, his complexion became even uglier today. To be honest, no one has ever said such insolent words to me since my strength has soared. Ha ha. Immediately, he roared again. The red and black armor on his upper body was directly burned by the terrifying flames. Then, with a flash of his body, he punched Lu Yu. And Lu Yu spat out 3 words lightly. Then he stretched out an index finger and easily blocked Jiren's fist. No. Impossible. Jiren was stunned. After he really erupted, his full blow was blocked by a finger again. But before Jiren could react, Lu Yu gently exerted force with his index finger. Whoosh. Rumble. Jiren's body immediately flew upside down, and the body scraped the ground and retreated a distance of tens of thousands of feet. Destroyed more than a dozen peaks on the way before stopping. Puff. A mouthful of blood spurted directly from Jiren's mouth. But Jiren soon stood up again, albeit breathlessly. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. How could there be such a powerful guy in the world? Jiren still had a look of disbelief. Originally, he thought that he had cultivated stronger. Originally, he thought that as long as he found those monsters, he could avenge his clansman and master. But now it seems that his own strength is simply vulnerable. Although in this universe, the strength may still be seen. But in front of the real strong, he is still far behind. Because just now Lu Yu easily defeated himself with 1 finger. If he wanted to kill himself, he would probably be dead by now. Hateful. Think here. Jiren just clenched his fists, nails dug into his palms. He was thinking about revenge. But with his current strength, even if he finds the monsters that killed his master and his clansmen, can he really kill them and avenge him? Jiren didn't continue to attack. Because although he was able to stand up, he had no energy left to fight. Secondly, even if his own strength has been improved, there is still a world of difference between him and Lu Yu. No matter how many times I rush up, the ending will not change in any way. I am not his opponent at all, the gap between the two is like a world of difference. ... And at this moment, Broly has returned to normal form. Then he walked to Lu Yu's side. Master Lu Yu. Well, your performance just now was very good, you can become Super Saiyan in such a short time. Presumably if you can pass another fierce battle, you should be able to break through again. Lu Yu looked at Broly and said. Although Broly may not be as strong as Jiren at the moment, just let him continue to fight the strong ones a few times. Then his strength will definitely improve qualitatively. However, this matter should not be rushed. Without hard work, after becoming a Super Saiyan, there is no way to perfectly control one's own consciousness. So this problem must be solved. I'm not too sure what happened just now. I just felt very angry, and then a powerful force burst out of my body. Broly touched the back of his head and said. After regaining consciousness at this time, even he did not expect that his body had such a powerful force. Normal. This is the nature of the legendary Super Saiyan. Okay, let's go now, someone is coming. Lu Yu patted Broly on the shoulder. Then he raised his head and looked towards the sky. Because he could feel that the auras of Gods of Destruction Vermut and Angel Makarita were rapidly approaching. Whizzing. Sure enough, almost after Lu Yu's voice fell, the bodies of Gods of Destruction Vermut and Makarita quickly landed in front of Lu Yu. Jiren. The moment Gods of Destruction Taste appeared, he quickly spotted Jiren, who was standing far away at this time. At this time, Jiren's breath was very wilted, obviously he was defeated. And Makarita looked at Lu Yu the moment she landed. Because the powerful breath of God that I felt before erupted from Lu Yu's body. How is this possible? What's going on here? The breath of God definitely erupted from his body, but I've never seen him before. Makarita was very puzzled. You must know that you are an angel who has lived for hundreds of millions of years. Although not all the things in the universe are known, there are many things that are understood. Especially in the 12 universes, she knows all of the powerful gods. But in my impression, there is absolutely no such existence as Lu Yu. She hadn't seen it at all. Hey, are you the one who injured our candidate for the 11th universe, gods of destruction? Vermut also looked at Lu Yu. Then he looked at Lu Yu with a condescending attitude and asked. Although he was shocked that this guy was able to beat Jiren. But if they dare to be in their 11th universe, then they will definitely not let them leave easily. So what? Lu Yu stared at Vermut and said with a smile. Lu Yu didn't like gods of destruction Vermut in the 11th universe. First of all, this guy's makeup is really unpleasant. Secondly, I always feel that this guy has a sinister and cunning feeling. How? Since we injured our 11th universe candidate, gods of destruction, in our 11th universe, I, as gods of destruction, will naturally not let you leave easily. Vermut looked at Lu Yu indifferently. I didn't expect this guy to be so rampant. I feel like I don't take myself seriously at all. I have been the gods of destruction for tens of millions of years, and no human has ever dared to talk to me with this attitude. Since we are here, we are naturally not prepared to leave easily. Lu Yu still said calmly. And this indifferent look made Vermut even more unhappy. You self-righteous thing, you are courting death. Seeing Lu Yu's defiant expression, Vermut clenched his fists tightly. Ready to attack Lu Yu directly. He wanted to see if this guy had the capital to be arrogant in front of gods of destruction. Wait, Master Vermut, but Makarita shouted to stop him. What are you doing, Makarita? It's been so many years, and this is the first time I've seen such arrogant and ignorant things. If I don't teach them a lesson today, where will I put my gods of destruction face? Vermut turned his head and looked at Makarita with a tone of voice said coldly. Master Vermut, please allow me to say a few words. Makarita stepped forward and looked at Lu Yu with a smile. Then he asked, My dear, I don't know which universe's god you are. Why haven't I seen you before? There is no doubt that the body of this guy in front of him contains the breath of God. But she is very curious now, which universe is this guy from? Why does his body contain such a powerful breath of God? But it is not a good thing to offend rashly. Just as Makarita spoke, Lu Yu also began to look at Makarita carefully. The purple angel uniform envelops a well-proportioned figure, not quite as tall as Veto's, but just right. There is a faint smile on his face, and the purple skin is quite attractive. Especially the silver-white double ponytails, which exude a playful temperament. She has the playfulness of a Lolita, but also has a kind of dignified and mature charm. There is even a bit of charming feeling. Among these female angels, Makarita is absolutely top-notch in terms of appearance, figure and temperament. Almost on par with Angel Vados of the 6th universe. Although Angel Kessie of the 10th universe is also very good-looking, but compared with these two, there is a big gap in figure. Especially Makarita's twin ponytails, around which there is a feeling that I can't help but want to control it. It seemed that it was the first time that Makarita was stared at with such naked eyes, and she suddenly felt uncomfortable. I didn't expect this guy to be so bold, daring to stare at him for a long time with such profane eyes. After admiring it for a while, Lu Yu smiled lightly and said, I don't belong to any universe in any universe, so it's normal that you haven't seen me. It's not just Makarita, it is estimated that no one knows her identity except Grand Priest and Zeno. And he still needs to hide his identity, which makes him feel very uncomfortable. I don't know what Zeno and Grand Priest are up to. Doesn't belong to any universe. I can feel that your body has a very powerful divine aura, and this aura doesn't seem to be weaker than gods of destruction. Makarita said again. If such a powerful god does not belong to this world, it is not a good thing. I need to report to Master Zeno and Grand Priest. What are you kidding, Makarita? Have to say, this guy is really strong to beat Topo and Jiren. But you don't naively think that you can become gods of destruction's opponent in this way, right? Gods of destruction's horror is not only about its own combat power. After hearing Makarita's words, gods of destruction Vermut said coldly. It is undeniable that this guy in front of him is really strong. Not even Jiren is his match. If only relying on its own combat power, it is true that it may not be able to defeat this guy. But the reason why the gods of destruction are called gods of destruction is because they have mastered the power of law. And this kind of law power, as long as it is in this universe, no human being can compete with it. With just one thought, they can make it disappear without a trace. Even as powerful as Jiren, gods of destruction can still make him disappear. Oh, honey, don't be too careless. Looking at the confident Vermut, Makurita sighed. Vermut ranks among the best in all gods of destruction. Although it may not be as good as the gods of destruction Beerus of the 7th universe and the gods of destruction Quitella of the 4th universe, it is much stronger than the gods of destruction of other universes. This also makes him very confident. Even, a little too confident. Since you said that, then I will teach you a lesson, this ignorant thing in front of you. By the way, your feelings are wrong, Makurita. Vermut said to Makurita with a lonely face. The divine power of gods of destruction is definitely not as good as provocation. No one can. Even this guy, as Makurita said, his body contains the energy of God. Oh, I think you might be beaten up. Makurita said very shamelessly. Cut, you take this one a little too seriously. Gods of destruction Vermut seems to be even angrier because of Makurita's words. Then he clenched his fist suddenly, and purple flames erupted from his body instantly. Crazy around the body. Obviously, although what Makurita said made him very uncomfortable, he also believed it to a certain extent. So from the beginning, he took out all his strength. It should be the fear of capsizing in the gutter. If gods of destruction, the 11th universe, is defeated by this fool, then don't even think about messing around in the future. Want to fight? Don't blame me for not reminding you. In my eyes, with your strength, you can only be regarded as a grasshopper that likes to jump. Lu Yu tilted his head and said dismissively. Not to mention gods of destruction, even Makurita herself doesn't pay attention to it at all. Because I have already signed up Zeno's clearing ability, I can make them disappear completely in an instant. Not only do I have this ability, but I also have this right. But, a smug thing. Soon I'll let you know what a silly analogy it is to compare gods of destruction to a grasshopper. Even because of this, you may lose your life. Vermut's eyes burst out with fierce light, and the clown's face became even more ferocious and distorted. Whoosh! In the next second, Vermut burst out of his body. He came directly in front of Lu Yu. The speed is very, very amazing, and it seems to be comparable to Jiren just now. Then he punched out. Okay, then let me come and play with you. It makes you feel a little bit hopeless. The corner of Lu Yu's mouth raised slightly, and his body flicked slightly, avoiding Vermut's fist. Vermut didn't hesitate at all. He missed a punch, and quickly adjusted his offensive again, and his fists fell on Lu Yu like raindrops. But Lu Yu's body was like a butterfly in the sky, moving his body lightly, he easily dodged all of Vermut's attacks. Oh, it seems that I still underestimated him a bit. His strength is much stronger than Lord Vermut. It can be said that they are not opponents at the same level at all. Makurita watched the battle between the two, and whispered to herself. In fact, from the very beginning, she felt that the guy in front of her was very strong. But I didn't expect it to be so powerful. Master Vermut has already increased his strength and speed to the extreme at this time, but there is still an irreparable gap between him and him. And from the very beginning, he fought in a playful manner. Not half serious at all. If the battle continues like this, Master Vermut will definitely lose. And it will fail miserably. But there is no way. Who told Master Vermut not to listen to his words? ... Whoosh whoosh. The battle between the two continues. Lu Yu still had a calm attitude, but Vermut's complexion became worse and worse. As the fighting time went on, he naturally felt the gap between the two. How could it be so fast? Vermut gritted his teeth tightly, his clown face was full of ferocity. What's the matter, Vermut, you look annoyed. Aren't you going to make me pay a terrible price? That's a bit unacceptable. Seeing Vermut's angry expression, Lu Yu challenged again lightly. You're just going faster. Don't hide if you have the ability. I only need one punch to make you disappear from this world. Vermut could only growl loudly. This guy's speed is too fast. Even if I increase my speed to the extreme, I still can't touch his body at all. In this case, the battle itself has no chance of winning. Unless the guy is head-to-head with himself. Maybe he is just a little faster, and his strength is not as good as his own. Is it? I don't think your fist has that strength yet. Okay, from now on I won't hide, you can attack as much as you want. Lu Yu suddenly opened his arms, with a smile on his lips, ready to kill him. Let Vermut fully understand that the gap between him and himself is not a star and a half. Even if he stood here and let him hit him, he couldn't hurt himself at all. The gap between them cannot be bridged. Even if he was given another 100 million years of cultivation time, he probably wouldn't be able to reach his own level. Okay, then you remember your words. Vermut was afraid that Lu Yu would change his mind, so he said immediately. After finishing speaking, the body burst out again. It entered my fist and directly hit Lu Yu's forehead. As long as he doesn't dodge, his punch can completely destroy him. If he dared to fight head-on with his fists, his entire arm would be destroyed by then. In his heart, what he thought was very beautiful. If I punch this guy, even if I don't destroy this guy, it will definitely cause him great pain. Let him remember. Boom. Finally, Vermut's fist hit Lu Yu's forehead precisely. Click. The crisp sound of bone cracking sounded instantly. However, this result is not the same as everyone thought. Especially Vermut, his face instantly turned into a pig's liver. Because Lu Yu's body was still standing there, maintaining exactly the same standing posture, his body didn't move at all. Almost at the moment when the crisp bone crack sounded, Gods of Destruction Vermut let out a miserable cry like killing a pig. Because the moment his fist hit the center of Lu Yu's eyebrow, his wrist broke directly. This happened because all the power was used. Master Vermut. Makarita gave Vermut a sympathetic look. I have reminded him long ago, telling him not to act rashly before he has figured out the matter. Don't offend this result, but he, who has always been aloof, didn't listen to his dissuasion at all. Fortunately, he really hit the iron board. People stood beside him and asked him to attack, but his fists could not hurt others. In this case, Master Vermut has no chance of winning at all. Yo, what's the matter? Didn't you swear just now that you have great confidence in your fist? What, is your fist made of tofu? It breaks so easily. Seeing the extremely painful Gods of Destruction Vermut, Lu Yu continued to taunt. If this guy hadn't been so arrogant before, he wouldn't have gotten into trouble at this time. But he was more self-righteous than himself before, and more importantly, from the moment he punched just now, he saw the killing intent in his eyes. Such a guy, if I still laugh at him, well, don't I feel a little sorry? I want to completely destroy you. In addition to pain, Vermut's eyes were full of madness and anger at this time. I didn't expect my arm to be broken by this one. Although at this time, he is more aware of this guy's strength. But such a big humiliation, absolutely can't just give up like this. I have to go to this fool and completely disappear in this world in order to relieve the anger in my heart. Destroy me. You don't want to tell me naively, you want to use your destructive energy to destroy me. Lu Yu looked at the angry Vermut and asked jokingly. Destroy. Vermut didn't answer Lu Yu at all. As soon as he gritted his teeth, a purple energy ball instantly condensed from the other hand. It contained a strong destructive atmosphere. Die to me, you smug one. An angry roar fell, and the purple destructive energy had already flown towards Lu Yu. I'm better at this kind of thing than you, so it can't hurt me. Seeing the destructive energy shooting at him, Lu Yu said coldly. The eyes suddenly stared, and the purple destructive energy shot over disappeared without a trace. What? This is impossible. How could such a thing happen? Absolutely impossible. Why did my destructive energy disappear? Looking at the scene in front of him, Gods of Destruction was completely dumbfounded. At this moment, he couldn't describe the shock in his heart at all. You must know that destructive energy is the power of the universe, and it is not just something that ordinary energy can compare to. As long as there is anything in this universe, it can be destroyed. But why did that fool just take a look, and his destructive energy disappeared without a trace? This kind of thing has completely surpassed his imagination. Besides Master Zeno and Grand Priest, who else has this ability to do such a thing? This kind of thing dares to play tricks in front of me, you are really naive enough. Besides destroying energy, do you have other means? Looking at Gods of Destruction Vermut with a horrified face, Lu Yu still asked with a smile. Don't get carried away. I just accidentally missed it just now. Vermut was completely close to a state of madness at this time. Perhaps it was because of the burning anger in his heart that he had completely lost his mind. The only remaining fist was clenched tightly. Then the purple energy around his body became more turbulent. It seemed that just like Zeno, at such an angry moment, he also erupted with stronger power. The breath of God is more intense. This time, I will completely destroy you, you arrogant and ignorant vermut roared, and then a bigger purple energy instantly condensed in his palm. The breath of destruction is stronger than before. Give me a complete disappearance, with this ignorant thing. Then with a roar, the purple energy in his palm instantly flung towards Lu Yu. This is definitely his strongest, and it is the last blow. If this can't hurt the one eye, then he really has no other means. In fact, he still has his own ideas in his heart. That is, I am the gods of destruction hand-picked by Master Zeno and Grand Priest. In this world, except for Master Zeno and Grand Priest, other people or gods are not qualified to kill themselves at all. They did not dare to kill themselves, because killing yourself would be challenging the authority of Master Zeno and Grand Priest. This is something they absolutely dare not do. Even if the guy in front of him is very strong, Master Zeno can completely wipe him out in a split second. Court death. Looking at the desperate vermut, Lu Yu's eyes burst out with killing intent instantly. This guy vermut, it seems that he already wants to kill himself. If this is the case, then I will use him first. Anyway, Zeno once gave himself the right to control the life and death of gods of destruction and Angel. I have the right to depose and execute them. Angel is the son and daughter of the Grand Priest, these guys themselves dare not move. But gods of destruction is different, their gods are very different from Angel. Because although they have gods and are the masters of a universe, they have no background. There is no father quite like the Grand Priest, so he can kill them completely. Since gods of destruction vermut had already decided to kill himself, he would use him to do the surgery. By the way, look at the attitude of Grand Priest and Zeno. What will they do after killing gods of destruction by themselves? Operator O Operator. Are these guys really trying to make themselves Zeno candidates, or do they mean something else? It is estimated that as long as you kill a few gods of destruction yourself, you will be able to see their purpose. Thinking about it, Lu Yu waved his hand. The huge purple energy ball instantly disappeared without a trace. Even Vermut's strongest attack is still weak and pitiful in front of Lu Yu, without any threat. This time, although Vermut was shocked, he seemed to accept it. He really was able to ignore his own destructive energy. Whoosh! In the next second, Lu Yu's body appeared in front of gods of destruction Vermut like a ghost. Then he wrapped his arms around his neck and lifted him into the air like a chicken. Things that don't know how to live or die, originally just wanted to teach you a little lesson. But you actually want to kill me. I won't leave anything in this world that wants to kill me. Lu Yu looked at Vermut with a cold gaze, suddenly murderous. In fact, when watching Dragon Ball, he felt that this insidious and cunning Vermut was not pleasing to the eye. Although he said that he was the first to provoke today's incident, but since he had already committed suicide to him, he would naturally not forgive him. And, I am a Zeno candidate, and it is my duty to supervise and manage the gods of destruction of each universe. So now, even if I kill him, there is nothing wrong with it. Kill me. Vermut blushed, still glaring at Lu Yu with anger. You don't know what to do. I'm the gods of destruction appointed by Master Zeno and Grand Priest. If you dare to kill me, you will be an enemy of Master Zeno and Grand Priest. Come and kill me if you have the ability. Vermut seemed to think that as long as he moved out of Zeno and Grand Priest, the fool in front of him would never dare to touch him. Because if you move yourself, you are challenging the divine power of the two adults. Yes, you think I'm not capable of killing you, right? Or, do you think I dare not kill you? Lu Yu suddenly smiled strangely. Then he stuck it to Vermut's ear and whispered, I'm so sorry, what I want to tell you is that I am a Zeno candidate. So for you rubbish, you have the power of life and death. At this time, Lu Yu already had the heart to kill Vermut. So there is nothing to hide about your identity. Just enough to let him die in peace. You, what did you say? Vermut seemed to have heard the most shocking thing in the world, the pupils of his eyes constricted, and he was beyond shocked. Impossible, this is absolutely impossible, you must be lying to me. How can there be a Zeno candidate in this world? Master Zeno absolutely does not allow this identity to exist. Vermut kept shaking his head, unbelievable, even a little silly. This one must have lied to himself. Because I have been gods of destruction for tens of millions of years, during these tens of millions of years, I have never heard of such a thing as a Zeno candidate. There is no such position. So he is scaring himself, he must not dare to kill himself. Shocking, isn't it? Unbelievable, isn't it? Actually, I was the same as you before, and I couldn't figure it out. But it doesn't matter, anyway, with this identity, it's very convenient to kill guys like you who don't like it, isn't it? Lu Yu still said with a sneer. Although I have always been skeptical about this identity, I have to say that after having this identity, it is indeed different. Can kill the gods of destruction openly, and not afraid of being held accountable by them. You dare not kill me. You definitely wouldn't dare to kill me, you were lying just now. If Master Zeno and Grand Priest find out, they will definitely wipe you out of this world. Vermut still had hope in his heart. The identity of this guy's so-called Zeno candidate must have been made up by himself. Otherwise, it is impossible to not even know yourself. And Angel must not know about this position. Whether they will know me or not, I don't know, but today you are dead. Lu Yu suddenly exerted force. Vermut's face suddenly turned red, and even breathing became difficult. There was a gurgling sound in his mouth, but he couldn't utter a single word. And at this moment, Lu Yu suddenly heard a humming sound behind him. Then, a very familiar breath of God appeared from behind. He was extremely familiar with that breath, because he had been with that guy for a full 10 years. Grand Priest. Lu Yu's complexion changed. That's right, this breath of God that suddenly appeared was exactly Grand Priest's. But why did he come here? And it came so cleverly, just when he was about to kill gods of destruction Vermut, he suddenly appeared. Could it be that this guy wants to stop himself from doing it? But, whoever comes today can't stop himself from killing Vermut. It even happens that I can take a good look at myself, the attitude of these big men after killing gods of destruction. Mr. Lu Yu, be merciful. Grand Priest's voice sounded behind him. Big. Vermut uttered a word, and a gleam of hope appeared in his eyes. The Grand Priest has appeared, sure to see through the tricks and deceptions of this guy in front of him. He has already committed a felony by pretending to be a Zeno candidate, and Grand Priest will definitely wipe him out completely. I said that you are doomed. Even if you are the King of Heaven today, I will not be able to save you when I come. Give up. Lu Yu glanced at Vermut, who had a gleam of hope in his eyes. Then he said indifferently, clear. In an instant, a white light appeared around Vermut's body. Then disappeared without a trace, completely disappeared from this world. As if it never existed. After easily killing and destroying Vermut, Lu Yu turned his head and looked at Grand Priest. There was a smile on his face. Said, so it's Grand Priest. Long time no see. What can I do for you? I am a candidate for Zeno, so there is no need to show too much respect for the Grand Priest. Mr. Lu Yu, didn't you hear me clearly just now? I ask you to show mercy. Grand Priest looked at Lu Yu calmly, and his words seemed a little displeased. Obviously he had already spoken just now, but Lu Yu didn't listen to his words at all. Or just execute Vermut. Oh, did Grand Priest just say that? Maybe I was too serious to hear what Grand Priest said. I'm so sorry, and this guy committed a crime of disrespect and tried to kill me. So how could I let him go so easily? Lu Yu tilted his head and said to Grand Priest with a warm smile on his face. The corners of Grand Priest's eyes seemed to twitch slightly. But it's back to normal soon. Lu Yu just ignored his order just now. Now he has come up with such a set of rhetoric to deal with himself. Great disrespect. I see. It seems that Vermut deserved what he deserved. But Mr. Lu Yu, Lord Zeno just asked you to supervise gods of destruction and Angel. I'm afraid it's inappropriate for you to directly kill them like this. Grand Priest was obviously very upset because Lu Yu was disobedient just now. Is it? I remember Master Zeno also said that I have the power of life and death over gods of destruction and Angel. At any rate, I'm also the Zeno candidate appointed by Master Zeno. I'm just a gods of destruction. If you don't respect me, you don't respect Master Zeno. Should you keep such a gods of destruction for the new year? Lu Yu shrugged without any fear. Grand Priest. If this guy wanted to kill him, he couldn't resist with his current strength. And he was sure that the Grand Priest would not do anything to himself. At least he won't do anything to himself until he meets Zeno. Hearing Lu Yu's words, Grand Priest's eyes unexpectedly showed a look of surprise. He didn't expect this guy to dare to speak like this in front of him, and now he still uses Mr. Zeno as a shield. In this way, I really have nothing to do with him. Anyway, like Lu Yu just said, he is indeed Zeno's chosen Zeno candidate. I didn't expect this guy to become so arrogant in such a short time after leaving the temple. It's a completely different person from before. Mr. Lu Yu is right, Master Zeno did give you such a right. That's all the Grand Priest can say. So, it's okay for me to kill a gods of destruction. Lu Yu continued to speak calmly. Indeed, I didn't expect Mr. Lu Yu to undergo such a big change after such a short time. Indeed, it seems that Master Zeno has not misjudged the person. Grand Priest said with a slight smile. At this moment, Angel Makarita, who was on the sidelines, was stunned. She couldn't understand the conversation between Grand Priest and Lu Yu at all. Could it be that this guy really has something to do with Master Zeno? How dare you be so presumptuous in front of your father? One must know that even Mr. Zeno himself is extremely polite to Mr. Father. See my Lord Grand Priest. At this moment, Angel Makarita walked up to the Grand Priest and bowed respectfully to say hello. It seems that you did not assist the gods of destruction of the 11th universe. Grand Priest seemed to be on fire in his heart. He glanced at Makarita lightly and said, "This is my duty, Lord Grand Priest, please punish." Makarita's expression changed, and she quickly spoke. Although he doesn't know what happened, is Lu Yu in front of him really a candidate for Zeno? But from his father's expression, it could be seen that he was really angry. It seems that it has been a long time since his face looks so bad. The Grand Priest also stopped looking at Makarita, but looked at Lu Yu again. Then he said, "Mr. Lu Yu, Master Zeno asked you to go back, and I have something to do with you." This time he did come by order. But I didn't expect to see Lu Yu erasing a gods of destruction as soon as he came. You must know that this guy was just a very small bug 10 years ago. Even the gods of destruction can easily crush him to death. Unexpectedly, in 10 years, he has grown to such an extent. Judging from his tone and posture just now, he doesn't even pay attention to himself, the Grand Priest. If he is allowed to grow like this, it is estimated that it will be difficult to control in the future. Master Zeno. Lu Yu's face changed when he heard Grand Priest's words. At this time, he asked himself to go back. What could be the matter? If he wants to dispose of himself, the Grand Priest is a perfect substitute. Now recruiting myself back to the temple, there should be other things. But no matter what it is, you must be on guard. Because from the very beginning, I never believed the words of these guys. Even if they gave themselves a high status. In that case, let's go. Lu Yu didn't hesitate either. Zeno summoned him, and he couldn't escape it. I just don't know what he is looking for. Then Lu Yu looked at Makarita and said, "Help me take care of Brawley." Confused, Makarita looked at the Grand Priest. It seemed to be asking what he meant. Grand Priest nodded. Although that guy's strength is also very good, but I don't take him seriously at all. He didn't even reach the level of gods of destruction. Such a guy couldn't catch his eyes. I can't afford any waves at all. Brawley, stay here for a while, and I'll pick you up after I'm done with other things. By the way, she is very powerful. You can ask him for advice when you have time. Lu Yu said to Brawley. If there is Makarita's training, Brawley should grow up very fast. Later, Lu Yu followed the Grand Priest to the temple of Zeno. In fact, Lu Yu was still a little nervous, because he didn't know what Zeno wanted from him. Sometimes the unknown is often the scariest. The two soon arrived at the temple of Zeno. Meet Master Zeno. Lu Yu clasped his fists in salute. Grand Priest also called out respectfully. You are here, Lu Yu. You are not in the temple these days. The whole temple has become even more deserted. It's great that you're back now. What are we going to play? After Zeno saw Lu Yu, he seemed quite excited. Immediately asked, what do you want to play? It seems that these days in the temple, he is indeed a little lonely. This, Master Zeno, please decide. Lu Yu looked at Zeno with an innocent smile on his face. It seems that he has no idea of what to do to himself. It is very likely that it is purely to ask myself to come back to play with him. Then let's continue playing peek-a-boo. How about it? Zeno asked with excitement still on his face. Well, that's fine. Lu Yu nodded. Naturally there was no way to refuse. But he was still very upset. Because after returning to this place, this little guy doesn't know when he will let himself go again. Grand Priest's face was not as pretty as before. As time flies, Lu Yu just plays extremely boring games with Zeno. Time goes by day, year by year. In the past time, Lu Yu has repeatedly reminded Zeno that they ask themselves to supervise gods of destruction, and inquire about the demons by the way. But Zeno didn't care at all, as if he forgot about it. Day after day, it was like in the past world, playing boring games with this retarded person every day. But he couldn't say a word. In this way, 10 years passed. These 10 years have been a torment for Lu Yu. Even more maddening than the first decade. He once promised on the 18th that after completing his mission, he would return to Earth to find Candy as soon as possible. But this wait is a full 10 years. I don't know if the 18th is waiting for me now. Or you have already forgotten yourself. However, during these 10 years, Lu Yu also checked in 10 times. Every time he signs in, his strength will be greatly improved. And now, Lu Yu's strength has reached the level of Zeno's guardian. Although there is still a big gap with Grand Priest, in the entire universe, it is estimated that except for Grand Priest and Zeno, no one is his opponent. The side hall of the Zeno temple, where 3 figures are fighting. Taking a closer look, it was obvious that they were Lu Yu and Zeno's 2 guards, Qingzi and Lei Zuku. At this time, the 2 guards teamed up to deal with Lu Yu, but they still didn't have any points in the battle. Instead, he was completely suppressed by Lu Yu. I said, what's wrong with the 2 of you? Were you not very strong before, and now you are no longer my opponent no matter how you join forces? Lu Yu easily evaded the estimation of the 2, and said with a smile. In 10 years, if these 2 guys hadn't often contested with themselves, life would have been very boring. Are you kidding? How did this guy become so powerful? It's as if he will have a huge improvement every year. Qingzi looked bewildered. I remember 8 years ago, when they fought for the first time, he could beat Lu Yu to the ground by himself. But it has only been 8 years, and this guy actually fought against the 2 of them with his own strength, and instead suppressed them both severely. And on weekdays, his cultivation is the same, there is nothing special about it. An unusual guy, no wonder Master Zeno favors him. Lei Zuku was also speechless. It seems that if you want to compete with this guy in the future, it will be boring. All right, no more fights. You are simply a monster. Qingzi waved his hand and immediately stopped fighting. Because he already knew that even if he continued to fight, this guy would only play tricks on them. The 2 of them had no chance of winning at all. I said you 2 were really boring. Didn't you work hard when you tortured me before? Now that I have managed to overtake you, you actually stopped fighting. Lu Yu shrugged boredly and said. But even though he said that, he didn't care about it at all. Because in the first 10 years, these 2 guys didn't talk much to themselves at all. In the past 10 years, they have only started to deal with themselves. Maybe it's because I feel that my strength can follow them, so I became interested in myself. This ghost place, when can we leave again? Lu Yu sat down and thought to himself. It's been 10 years, I don't know what happened to them on the 18th. Are you still waiting for yourself? Lu Yu, have you heard that there seems to be signs of demons appearing? Qingzi suddenly whispered to Lu Yu. Demon race. I really don't know this, and I don't even know what my demons are. Lu Yu shook his head. Although I promised Grand Priest and Zeno 10 years ago, I will check the traces of the demons. But in fact, this is to leave the temple as soon as possible, and I don't even know what the demons they are talking about. If you don't know, forget it. Okay, I'm really upset to be entertained by you today. Qingzi got up and said, pretending to be upset. The next day, Lei Zuku called Lu Yu over. Said that Zeno had something to tell him. Lu Yu didn't ask, and went to the temple. Anyway, if he asked, it was just to embarrass Lei Zuku. Master Zeno, what's the matter? Lu Yu asked directly. Probably playing some boring games with him again, I am already so tired that I can't get tired anymore. But there is no way, still have to do it. No way, my current strength is not enough to resist Zeno. Even the Grand Priest can still clear itself with ease. Lu Yu, what I said today is more important. Do you still remember that the Grand Priest told you about the demon race 10 years ago? Zeno asked seriously. Yes, I still remember. It's just that my time in the lower realm is too short, so I haven't come into contact with the so-called demons at all. Lu Yu nodded and then said. But listening to Zeno's tone, the demons seem to have appeared. In this way, does it mean that he can leave the temple again? The demons have been active recently. The Grand Priest and I always feel that something bad is going to happen, so you may need to go to the Nether. After Zeno finished speaking, Grand Priest added, your responsibilities and rights are the same as before. You can command and dispatch all gods of destruction and angels at will. And your main purpose is to find the demons and punish them. Sure enough, it was the same task as before. Understood, then when can I leave the temple? To be honest, Lu Yu can't wait to get out of this ghostly place. You can leave at any time, but try to be as fast as possible. Grand Priest continued. Understood. If that's the case, it's not too late, then I'll go right away. Lu Yu said very responsibly. Well, if that's the case, let's go. However, there are many powerful guys in the demon clan, so you have to be careful yourself. Zeno reminded Lu Yu. It is good. Lu Yu nodded, and then left the temple directly. He didn't want to stay in this boring place that exploded for a moment. Chapter 61. Finally came out again. Next time, you won't be able to call me so easily. Lu Yu looked at the gate of Zeno Temple, said coldly, then cast instant transmission, and disappeared directly into Zeno Temple. When it appeared again, it had already reached the gods of destruction realm of the 11th universe. Because I have to bring Brawly back. The moment Lu Yu's body appeared, Makurita and Brawly quickly discovered it. Of course, there is another familiar face in the gods of destruction world, and that is the previous candidate gods of destruction Topo. Now officially gods of destruction, wearing gods of destruction attire. Mr. Lu Yu. Master Lu Yu. It's him. The moment they saw Lu Yu, the three of them had expressions of shock on their faces. Lu Yu said before that Brawly should wait here. But I didn't expect that this wait was a full 10 years. There was an excited look on Brawly's face, because Master Lu Yu had not forgotten him. As for gods of destruction Topo, a nervous and wary look appeared on his face. You must know that this guy was able to easily defeat Jiren 10 years ago, and even directly killed the former gods of destruction Vermut. Now it suddenly appeared, and I don't know why. Master Lu Yu, you are finally here. Brawly hurriedly walked in front of Lu Yu, and said excitedly. It's not a bad place to stay though, and Topo and Makurita treat themselves well. Especially Makurita, who often guides herself to practice. But staying with them is always uncomfortable. Now Master Lu Yu is back, so I must leave this place this time. Long time no see, Makurita. Lu Yu glanced at Makurita and said with a smile. Although 10 years have passed, there is no difference between Makurita and 10 years ago. Can't see the slightest change at all. But no wonder, after all, Makurita is angel, and angel's lifespan is almost permanent. For them, 10 years is like a flick of a finger. It's been a long time, Mr. Lu Yu. Makurita also greeted with a smile. Because 10 years ago, I knew his identity from the conversation between him and my father. That is the candidate for Master Zeno. So his god position is far higher than his own, so there is naturally some awe when he speaks. Do you want to take Brawly away? Makurita continued to ask. That's right, please take care of it for the next 10 years. Lu Yu nodded. He could feel that Brawly was much stronger than 10 years ago. It is estimated that the current Brawly has reached the full power of Super Saiyan. Even stronger, so it seems that Makurita is not lazy. Mr. Lu Yu is too polite, Brawly's talent is very strong, and I can't help much. Makurita said politely. At this time, gods of destruction Topo, who was standing aside, felt that he was completely unable to intervene. Because he didn't know Lu Yu's identity. But this guy was able to escape any punishment after killing a gods of destruction of the universe. It's okay so far, standing here, and what's more, Angel Makurita's attitude towards him in the old year is also quite odd. This shows that his identity is absolutely very precious. Certainly not gods of destruction, the one on par. So at this time, he didn't ask questions, and he had better not talk too much, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble, just like Vermut before. Okay, the two of us have other things to do, so we won't bother you much. After Lu Yu finished speaking, he looked at Topo, and then said in a flat tone, I hope you can abide by your duties and do a good job in the gods of destruction of the 11th universe. If you are as virtuous as Vermut, maybe I will make you disappear next time. Yes, Lord Lu Yu. Hearing Lu Yu's threat, Topo nodded tightly. Even Angel is so in awe of him, so he, the new gods of destruction, should not be worth mentioning in his eyes. Let's go, Brawly. Then Lu Yu took Brawly and left. But this time, his goal is the Earth. A full 10 years have passed since the cell incident. Then the limited time period, Majin Buu must have been solved. It is very possible that Beerus has awakened, just in time to go to the Earth to see the excitement. Check out the so-called Super Saiyan God. After casting instant transmission, Lu and Brawly arrived at the 7th universe in an instant. Appeared on the Earth. On Earth, Luo Fan felt two very familiar breaths of God. Apparently, the gods of destruction Beerus of the 7th universe has awakened and came to Earth with Whis. Swish. Lu Yu searched for the life fluctuation of number 18, and went directly to instant transmission. When it appeared again, it was already on top of a huge luxury yacht. The yacht is full of familiar faces. There are other Z fighters on Earth, Master Roshi, Tenjin Dend, Bulma and Chi-Chi etc. Of course, number 18 is also among them. The moment Lu Yu appeared, number 18 seemed to feel something suddenly. His expression froze suddenly, and then he turned around suddenly. It was the very familiar figure that he had seen for 10 years. Lu Yu. Number 18 stood up dumbly. With a dazed look on his face, he wondered if he had hallucinations. For 10 years, there was no news of him. Now that I have come back silently like this, am I dreaming? Long time no see, number 18. Are you okay? Lu Yu asked with a very simple smile on his face. This kind of smile seems to be shown only when in front of no 18. Is, really you? Did you really come back? Number 18 bit her red lip, still unable to believe it. There is a dreamlike feeling. In the past 10 years, I have been looking forward to this day every day. But now that Lu Yu was standing in front of him, he couldn't believe it was real. 10 years is just a blink of an eye for Angel and the others. But for the 18th, it seems like every day is a wait. It's me, really I'm back. I'm really sorry, I promised to come back as soon as possible, but I kept you waiting for so long. Lu Yu smiled apologetically. At this time, the eyes of other people also looked towards this side. In fact, many of the guests who attended Walmart's birthday party today knew Lu Yu. Because 10 years ago, it was Lu Yu who killed the cell, including the Earth. So many people are actually grateful to Lu Yu. But there is one exception, and that is Vegeta. Because before Lu Yu left the Earth, the beaten Vegeta lay in bed for 5 full years. This made this proud King Vegeta's self-esteem completely shattered. So, although Lu Yu saved the whole Earth, but in Vegeta's eyes, he will not be regarded as a savior. It turned out to be Mr. Lu Yu. Everyone looked at Lu Yu. Although they said they hadn't seen each other for 10 years, Lu Yu hadn't changed at all. And he still couldn't feel any aura, and there was an unfathomable sense of mystery. How dare you come here? Vegeta clenched his fist tightly, although at this moment he really wanted to rush up and rub Lu Yu on the ground. But rationally told myself, don't do this. Because that guy's strength is definitely above his own. Although it is said that in the past 10 years, his own strength has also been greatly improved. Now it has been able to reach Super Saiyan 2, which surpasses Super Saiyan, and has reached its peak form. But there should be a very huge difference between him and that guy. Although it is said that his own strength may not be able to compete with that guy. But there is one person present who can definitely crush that one to death easily. That is gods of destruction Beerus. The gods of destruction of a universe is definitely the most powerful existence above this universe. No one can compete with it. No matter how mysterious and powerful Lu Yu is, he will never be a match for gods of destruction Beerus. At this moment, number 18 suddenly threw himself into Lu Yu's arms. At this time, perhaps because of the long wait of 10 years, she let go of her previous reservedness and arrogance. Sorry, I came too late, and I can't help myself. Looking at number 18 who was actively throwing himself into his arms, Lu Yu put his arms around No 18's shoulders and said, asterisk asterisk asterisk. Meanwhile on the other side, gods of destruction Beerus and Whis are enjoying delicious takoyaki. Almost at the moment when Lu Yu appeared, Whis' expression twisted slightly. Because he also saw this guy 10 years ago. After coming to God Realm, they said they were looking for Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus, but after learning that Lord Beerus was sleeping, he left. Moreover, I once wanted to stump that guy. But his strength seems to be far beyond his own, and he can't stop him at all. Now Master Beerus has just woken up, and he has come to the earth of the 7th universe. Could it be that he came after Lord Beerus again this time? Up to now, Whis still doesn't know who this guy is and why he possesses such powerful power. You must know that in all universes, there are only a few people who can surpass Angel's power. And this guy in front of him is definitely not among those people. Hey, what's the matter? Whis, is there something wrong with that guy who just appeared out of nowhere? You look like you care about him. Beerus asked while watching Whis while munching on takoyaki. Afterwards, he also glanced at Lu Yu, as if he couldn't feel any strange feeling in his body. And it's not Saiyan either, not the Super Saiyan god I was looking for. But the guy behind him seems to be Saiyan too. And the strength in the body is very strong, very violent. No problem, Beerus scales. Whis shook his head, and didn't tell Beerus what happened before. He was going to wait and see what happened, to see if that guy was after Lord Beerus. If it's not, it's best, and you'll save some trouble by not telling Lord Beerus. In other words, that Saiyan seems to be stronger than the Saiyan from Vegeta and King Kai. Could it be that he knows something about Super Saiyan? Beerus said while putting the little ball in his mouth. The reason why I came to this remote planet this time is because I had a prophetic dream some time ago. In the dream, I told myself that there would be a rival who could rival me. Super Saiyan God. That's why he became interested, and came to have a look at this rival in his dream. But everyone seems to know nothing about Super Saiyan God. This made him inevitably a little disappointed. But fortunately, the delicacies of the earth are indeed very attractive. So this trip is not in vain. I don't know about that either. However, his strength is indeed stronger than that of King Kai's Saiyan and Vegeta. Whis shook his head, Wei said. In fact, when she saw Broly, she was also a little surprised. In just 10 years, the strength in this guy's body has actually improved so much. I remember that 10 years ago, his power was simply incomparable to what it is now. It is no exaggeration to say that this guy's strength has surpassed the limit of the Zanya people. Since even you don't know, then I'll go over and ask. Beerus stood up, put the last little ball into his mouth, and then walked directly towards Lu Yu and Broly. In fact, after seeing Lu Yu, Vegeta soon saw another Saiyan Broly behind him. Naturally, there was incomparable horror in my heart. Because he always thought that the only surviving purebred Saiyans were Kakarot and his younger brother Tabur. Unexpectedly, suddenly, another one appeared. But his strength seems a bit unfathomable. This annoys Vegeta even more. Of course, Piccolo and the others were also very surprised. Because they are relatively clear about Saiyan. When seeing a strange Saiyan soldier again, they will naturally be shocked in their hearts. When Beerus walked towards Lu Yu and Broly, Whis wanted to stop it. But finally held back. Beerus is also very stubborn. I guess I can't persuade myself. What should come will always come. Beerus soon arrived in front of Lu Yu and Broly. Then he looked at Broly with a superior expression and asked, "Hey, you are also Saiyan, do you know Super Saiyan God?" Looking at Beerus with a face of indifference and contempt, Raleig's expression suddenly changed. Then there was a bit of anger in the eyes. Because he thinks the way Beerus talks is a bit off-putting to him. Then he clenched his fists tightly. If Master Lu Yu was not right in front of him, maybe he would have rushed directly to fight Beerus. Hearing Beerus's voice, Lu Yu let go of number 18, and then glanced at Beerus with a contemptuous face. When I came to Earth this time, I had already completely concealed my divine aura. So even Beerus and Whis couldn't perceive the slightest bit of divine aura in them. However, Whis has already seen his own strength. Apparently, he didn't tell Beerus about his trip to Gods of Destruction. At this moment, everyone turned their attention to Beerus and Lu Yu. They were all looking forward to it, and wanted to see who was stronger and who was weaker between the two. Because whether it is Gods of Destruction Beerus or Lu Yu, they are all very powerful. But while expecting them to fight, they were also very nervous. Because two such powerful masters fight, it is very likely that the Earth will be destroyed in minutes. Because they don't have any attachment to the Earth. Unlike Z fighters on the Earth is their home, and their families live on it. Even Vegeta thinks the same way. Although he was looking forward to letting Beerus teach Lu Yu a good lesson, in this way, he would feel a little more at ease. But if the two of them start a battle, no one will be able to stop it. At that time, the entire Earth may be destroyed, and all of them will not be spared. This was something he didn't want to see, and he didn't dare to face it. Hey, look at your expression as a bit fierce. What, do you want to compete with Gods of Destruction? Seeing Broly's unconvinced expression, Beerus asked with a sneer. Anyway, his purpose of coming to Earth this time is to find a Saiyan who is qualified to be his opponent. As for whether he is the Super Saiyan God in his foreseeing dream, it doesn't really matter much. After staying in the God realm for hundreds of millions of years, it is actually very lonely. Especially as a top powerhouse in the universe, life without an opponent is also very tormenting. Of course, Whis is his master, so he cannot be regarded as an opponent at all. Because in front of Whis, he is as weak as a kindergarten kid, totally vulnerable. So fighting him is no fun at all. That's why he would gladly spend 20+ minutes to come to Earth, this planet, to find the Super Saiyan God, AJEG. Gods of Destruction. After hearing Beerus's words, Broly's expression froze slightly, and the figure of Toppo soon appeared in his mind. Because Toppo also claims to be Gods of Destruction, but he is totally vulnerable in front of himself. Gods of Destruction is too weak, Broly said abruptly. Didn't he hit Beerus on purpose? Rather, he thought so. Because in the past 10 years, I have often fought against Toppo, and he is not my opponent at all. I can easily defeat it. It is estimated that the Gods of Destruction in front of him is about the same strength. So Broly wasn't even interested in fighting him. What? Broly's words startled Beerus. This ignorant fool actually dared to say that Gods of Destruction is too weak. It seems that Saiyan's brain is not working well, otherwise it would be impossible to say such stupid words. Things who don't know how to live and die, dare to say that the top Gods of Destruction in the universe is weak. Originally I just wanted to ask you about Super Saiyan God, but now it seems that it is necessary to teach you a good lesson. Beerus frowned slightly. Since becoming the Gods of Destruction, he is the first human being who dares to say that the Gods of Destruction is too weak in front of him. Gods of Destruction is inherently weak. Really, Master Lu Yu? Broly looked at Lu Yu, and Taguchi asked. It seems to want to get Lu Yu's approval. Well, you are indeed right, Gods of Destruction is very weak. Lu Yu nodded and said affirmatively. At least in his own eyes, Gods of Destruction is indeed ridiculously weak. It is no exaggeration to say that I can press the so-called strongest Gods of Destruction to the ground just by moving my fingers. Che, what a stupid little bug. I was in a good mood because of the delicious food, but the two of you are in a bad mood again. Beerus's eyes had already revealed a hint of anger. Originally, after eating the delicacies of the Earth just now, he was already prepared not to attack the Earth. But the two arrogant and ignorant guys in front of them made their anger appear again. Vegeta looked at the angry Beerus, not knowing what to do. To be honest, he really wanted to see the contest between Lu Yu and Beerus. Regardless of who wins and who loses between the two of them, it will not be a disadvantage to me. But he was very scared in his heart. If these guys fight, the Earth will be destroyed in minutes. This is something I will never allow. So it's not persuading now, and it's not persuading. Your tone just now made me feel a little unhappy. Broly said, not to be outdone. It's just a cat that has become a smart cat, and imitates others to speak arrogantly. Good. You are the first human being who dared to speak to Gods of Destruction like this. You have successfully enraged the Gods of Destruction, then bear the wrath from the Gods of Destruction. Beerus clenched his fists tightly, and the breath of God surged in his body instantly. Obviously, he's ready to teach Broly a lesson. Seeing Beerus wanting to fight, Broly also clenched his fists. At that moment, a terrifying breath spread instantly. Although Vegeta and Piccolo couldn't perceive Beerus's divine aura, they could feel Broly's aura. At the moment when they felt Broly's breath the most, expressions of incomparable horror appeared on everyone's faces. What? How can there be such a huge breath? Just kidding. Even after Goku becomes Super Saiyan 3, he can't reach this intensity at all. I feel that even after becoming a Super 3, there is still a dimensional gap between Dad and him. Can Saiyan be able to reach such a level? Piccolo, Kling and Son Gohan all had horrified faces. But Vegeta was not only shocked, but also jealous and full of anger. You must know that he is the Prince of Saiyan, with noble royal blood. It's okay to be surpassed by Kakarot and his son, but now a Saiyan comes out casually, and his strength is stronger than himself. This caused his already damaged self-esteem to be destroyed again. But at this time on the other side, the battle is imminent. Green gold flames also began to linger around Broly's body. Lu Yu didn't intend to make a move so soon, he also wanted to see if Broly's current strength was stronger than that of Gods of Destruction Beerus. The situation instantly became extremely tense. And just when everyone held their breath, looking forward to a big battle that was about to break out. Whoosh! Son Goku's body suddenly appeared beside Vegeta at some point. Yo, Lord Beerus, and Mr. Lu Yu, long time no see. After appearing, Son Goku was smiling and said hello to Beerus and Lu Yu. In fact, he has come to the Earth from the planet King Kai a long time ago, but he has been observing the movement in the dark. Just when the sword was on the verge of breaking out, he knew that he had to come out. If they don't come out again and let these two guys fight, 100% of the Earth will be destroyed by them. Hey, Kakarot, did you come back early in the morning and hide? Vegeta asked angrily, looking at Son Goku. Hey, Son Goku just let out a silly laugh. Obviously, he had already admitted what Vegeta said. The reason why he hid was not to watch the excitement, but to observe the progress of the situation, but also to find a way. Isn't this Saiyan from the planet King Kai? What's his name? After seeing Son Goku, Beerus scratched the back of his head, but couldn't remember Son Goku's name. Master Beerus, my name is Son Goku. Son Goku said his name again. He also knew that for these big figures, especially for these gods who stood at the tip of the universe, his name was of little importance. It's normal for them not to remember. Forget it, no matter what your name is, step aside now. This Saiyan was so arrogant just now, so I'm going to give him a good lesson. Beerus looked at Broly again, and said indifferently. If I don't clean him up today, this guy thinks that the saboteur is really weak. At that time, I will lose my face. As a Gods of Destruction of the universe, naturally he would not allow such a shameful thing to happen to him. Wait a moment, Lord Beerus. I have something to tell you. Son Goku hurriedly stopped. He doesn't want these two guys to fight on Earth. Because from the aura that broke out from that Broly just now, it can be known that this guy is also ridiculously strong. At least far beyond the level of Super Saiyan 3. If the strength of the two of them is evenly matched, it will definitely be a disaster for the Earth. I don't want this kind of thing to happen. Oh, what's the matter? You shouldn't be stupid enough to say something that wants to stop me. Even if others don't know the strength of Gods of Destruction, I guess you should know it very well. Beerus glanced at Son Goku, and said calmly. Just 10 minutes ago, he easily defeated Son Goku on the planet King Kai. Although this guy's strength surprised me, there was still an irreparable gap between him and Gods of Destruction. Of course not. Son Goku shook his head immediately, and then continued, Isn't Master Beerus looking for Super Saiyan God? I have already thought of a way to find Super Saiyan God. In fact, when observing the characters just now, Son Goku did think of a way to find Super Saiyan God. What, did you say you know where Super Saiyan God is? Beerus was taken aback, also showing a look of surprise on his face. This guy told himself 10 minutes ago that he didn't even know about the so-called Super Saiyan God. Looking at his appearance now, it seems that he is swearing. Could it be that he deliberately concealed it before? I don't know where is Super Saiyan God, but if we summon Shenron, he can definitely tell us about Super Saiyan God. Son Goku said firmly. This is what he came up with. Although they don't know what Super Saiyan God is, Shenron of Earth definitely knows. Shenron, looks like a defective product, Beerus said with disdain. Super Shenron, he does know. It was created by the previous Grand Priest, the Dragon God Salama. But the Shenron on the Earth may be a defective product made from leftover materials. Can't compare with Super Shenron at all. Master Beerus, please give me 10 minutes, and I will definitely find Super Saiyan God. Son Goku folded his hands together, please. In any case, I can't let Beerus and others fight on Earth. Especially Lu Yu, and Saiyan behind him. Because they don't know the severity when they start their hands. If you fight Beerus yourself, you will at least take into account the safety of the Earth. 10 minutes. Beerus picked his teeth, hesitated for a moment, then nodded in agreement. 10 minutes is too fast for myself, and it will be too long to go to other places to enjoy the food. After agreeing to Son Goku, Beerus looked at Lu Yu and Broly. There are still 10 minutes, in these 10 minutes, you can enjoy it. Because 10 minutes later, I'm not sure what's going to happen to you. After Beerus finished speaking to Broly, he turned around and walked towards the food counter. Broly clenched his fists tightly. Clearly, the threat of Beerus made him uncomfortable. It's okay Broly, you'll have a fighting chance later. Let's find a place to sit down and watch the excitement. Lu Yu looked at Broly who was full of disbelief, and said with a smile. For Super Saiyan God, Lu Yu is still a bit interested. Then he took the hand of number 18, found a table and sat down. And Son Goku also started to borrow 7 Dragon Balls from Bulma. Feeling that the atmosphere was not right, Bulma gave the Dragon Ball to Sun Chen without thinking too much. Soon, Son Goku summoned Earth's Shenron. The sky began to darken, and a grass-green Shenron hovered in the sky. However, at the moment Shenron appeared, it seemed to feel the danger of death. Immediately turned his gaze to Lu Yu's side. Then he glanced at Beerus again, cold sweat dripping from his forehead. Gods of Destruction, Master Beerus. Shenron obviously knew about Gods of Destruction Beerus. However, he sensed something more terrifying than Beerus in another person's body. Destroy. That's right, it's the door of destruction. Shenron also knows Master Beerus, I really didn't expect it. Hearing that Shenron actually called out Beerus's name, Son Goku showed a look of surprise on his face. Of course, Vegeta and Son Gohan were also surprised. Because they could clearly see that cold sweat appeared on Shenron's forehead. This is something that has absolutely never happened before. It's just that only Whis and Beerus noticed that Shenron would look at Lu Li's arms from time to time. It seems that every time I look at it, there will be a look of fear and greatness in the eyes. The fear and dread in his eyes was even worse than when he saw Beerus. What's going on with Shenron? Are you afraid of that guy? Beerus also glanced at Lu Yu, and then murmured silently in his heart. But I can't feel anything from that guy's body. Although this is a bit weird, he should not be strong. Because whether it is the 7th universe, or other universes, the powerful gods themselves all recognize 120, but there is no such a guy among them. So Shenron should have absolutely no need to be afraid of him. But the look of fear on that face is real. Master Beerus, I don't know what orders you have for calling me out this time. Shenron looked directly at Beerus, and asked with a low posture. After asking, he secretly glanced at Lu Yu again. Because he knew Beerus, but he didn't know Lu Yu. So even if he could feel something that frightened him from Lu Yu's body, he didn't know how to call it. Naturally, I dare not strike up a conversation at will. Hey, do you know Super Saiyan God? Or another way to ask you, tell me, where is Super Saiyan God? Beerus tapped the table with his fingertips and asked in a superior tone. Super Saiyan God is a god passed down in Saiyan myths and legends. Shenron was obviously taken aback. That is really very sorry Beerus. I can't tell you the whereabouts of Super Saiyan God now, because at this time, Super Saiyan God does not exist. What did you say? Beerus stood up suddenly, his eyes narrowed into 2 inverted triangles. Seeing Beerus's angry appearance, Shenron was suddenly frightened into a cold sweat. You must know that even though he is the Shenron of the earth, it is still very easy for gods of destruction to destroy himself. So in front of gods of destruction Beerus, it will feel fear uncontrollably. That's right, Lord Beerus. It is true that Super Saiyan God does not exist in this world now, but I can tell you how to make Super Saiyan God born. Shenron immediately added. After finishing speaking, he looked at the face of gods of destruction Beerus, and then hurriedly said, "It is recorded in the mythology books of Namek that 5 Saiyans with a heart of justice pour their hearts into another Super Saiyan with a heart of justice. In the body, Super Saiyan God can be born." When Shenron finished speaking, Son Goku, Vegeta and others were all surprised. But soon, Son Goku started counting on his fingers. Seems to be thinking how many Saiyans are there on their planet right now. Master Beerus, I have already told you the method of Saiyan's birth, so please forgive me and leave first. I look forward to meeting you next time. After Shenron finished speaking, he turned into 7 golden rays of light as if fleeing. Then it shot in a different direction. Even the last 2 wishes were directly ignored by him. As for Shenron's operation, he looked at Bulma and others in a daze. You must know how arrogant he was when he summoned this guy before. It's going to be so embarrassing today. But this also shows that the Beerus in front of him is indeed very terrifying. It's so terrifying that even Shenron is very afraid. Hey, Shenron has now told you how to create a Super Saiyan God, now you immediately make a Super Saiyan God for me. Otherwise, I will destroy this earth immediately. Beerus glanced at Son Goku coldly, and said coldly. But he was still very curious. I wonder if the Super Saiyan God they created is really the same as in my dream. Can be qualified to be your own rival. Son Goku nodded. Then start trying. The first attempt naturally ended in failure. Because it takes a total of 6 Saiyans with hearts of justice to create a Super Saiyan God. Son Goku and the others only had 5 Saiyans just now. After Whis reminded them, Son Goku first turned his attention to Broly. But Broly doesn't want to cooperate with them. In the end, Son Gohan's wife, Vital, spoke out about the pregnancy and then joined in. 10 minutes later, changes began to take place in the sky. The clouds completely turned into gold, and a golden light instantly wrapped the bodies of Son Goku and others in it, and then went straight into the sky. Soon, a strange breath of God was born. Of course, only Lu Yu, Beerus and Whis can feel this breath. Did you make it? Piccolo and Keelan, they are naturally full of anticipation and curiosity. To be honest, they also really want to meet the god of the legendary Super Saiyan. Also, I don't know if Goku can become the opponent of gods of destruction Beerus after becoming Super Saiyan God. You must know that if you can't beat him, the earth will still be destroyed by him in the end. Just as everyone expected, the golden light dissipated little by little. Then, Son Goku and Vegeta also appeared in the line of sight. Seeing the changes in Son Goku at this time, everyone's faces showed expressions of incomparable surprise. Although Son Goku turned his back to the crowd, his purple-red hair was particularly conspicuous. It seems that this time it finally succeeded. The corner of Beerus's mouth twitched, and an excited smile seemed to appear on his face. I have searched for so long and wasted such a long time. Found this Super Saiyan God. Yes, Lord Beerus. It has indeed succeeded, I can feel the breath of God. Whis also nodded and said. Sun Jun seems to have changed except for the color of his hair, there is no other change. Bulma looked puzzled. By the way, except for the change in the color of the hair, it seems to have become a little more refined. No, Sun has changed a lot. I can no longer perceive his aura, which means that he has become a real god. Super Saiyan God. Piccolo shook his head, then spoke very seriously. And Dend on the side nodded again and again. Because he can feel Goku's aura, it's the breath of God. Is this Super Saiyan God? It seems that there is not much difference from the original book. It's just that this strength is too weak, right? Lu Yu stared at Son Goku who became Super Saiyan God at this time, and said to himself lightly. You must know that Beerus once said that against Son Goku who became a Super Saiyan God, he took out 70% of his strength. It looks like Beerus is lying. Because Lu Yu could clearly feel that even Son Goku, who had become a Super Saiyan God, didn't even have 1% of Beerus's power at this time. The so-called battle between gods and gods is actually nothing more than gods of destruction Beerus playing Son Goku all the time. It is probably because there has been no opponent for too long, so I want to vent a little bit with Son Goku. At this time, Son Goku is much stronger than Super Saiyan 3. But compared with the real gods of destruction, there is still a very big gap. Even compared with the current Broly, there is a world of difference. If he fights seriously, Broly is estimated to be able to make Son Goku, who has become a Super Saiyan God, unable to climb up within half a minute. Is that Super Saiyan God? I can't feel Kakarot at all. Why do I have to cooperate with this one every time? Vegeta looked at Son Goku, who had become a Super Saiyan God, clenched his fists tightly, and his face was quite ugly. Obviously, he also has the qualifications to become a Super Saiyan God. But why do I have to cooperate with Kakarot? It's amazing power, it's unbelievable. Son Goku shook his fist, then looked at his body in surprise and said. He could feel the power flowing continuously in his body. It is not an existence that can be compared with Super Saiyan 3 at all. With this kind of power, even if you can't defeat Master Beerus, you shouldn't be too far behind. At least Son Goku currently thinks so. Oh, it really has become a Super Saiyan God. Whis was also a little surprised. But there was no emotion on his face at all. Although Son Goku has become equal to Lord Beerus and Supreme Kai. But compared with Master Beerus, there is still a very big difference in strength. There is no suspense in the outcome of this battle, it depends on how long Master Beerus wants to play. Oh, is it really similar to the rival in my dream? However, the strength seems to be a bit disappointing. Beerus said with his hands behind his back, his body floating in midair, staring at Son Goku. Originally, he had great expectations for Super Saiyan God, but now it seems that his expectations are a bit too high. But with such strength, at least you can let yourself play a little bit. Master Beerus, I kept you waiting. After feeling the power in his body, Son Goku looked at Beerus and said. Truly became a god. Then let me see your current strength, don't disappoint me too much. Beerus still had a calm expression on his face. Apparently Super Saiyan God Son Goku wasn't paying attention at all. Ah, the cells in my body are ready to try. Son Goku punched each other, showing an excited look. I have never felt such a powerful force. It should be quite good in battle. After all, the bodies of the two flew into the air at the same time. Lord Liu Yu, did that guy really become a god? Broly looked at Son Goku, as if he looked down on Super Saiyan God. Although it is true that I can no longer feel his anger, I always feel that he is weak. That's right, he did become Super Saiyan God. But his strength, it's still very weak. Liu Yu looked at Son Goku in midair and replied. At this time, other people are full of expectations. I don't know if Son Goku, who has become a Super Saiyan God, is qualified to be the opponent of Beerus, the Destroyer. Master Beerus, offend me. Son Goku suddenly smiled, and almost as soon as the sound fell, his body flashed out and punched Beerus directly. It seems that because the speed is faster than expected, Son Goku didn't control his body. Beerus turned slightly to one side, and punched Son Goku's fist. Wow Kaka, what a fast speed. Son Goku looks at his body, unbelievable. The speed has actually increased to this level. It was indeed something he hadn't thought of. What's the matter? Does such a little bit of speed and strength make you feel excited? Super Saiyan God, there should be a stronger power. Looking at the excited Son Goku, Beerus said lightly. Ah, Master Beerus is indeed right. Then now, I'm going to get serious. Son Goku turned around with a serious look on his face. Call out. In the next second, the body suddenly disappeared. When it reappeared, it was already in front of Beerus, and it punched him. Snapped. Beerus stretched out his right palm and easily caught Son Goku's fist. There was no change in his face, and his body was even more motionless. Obviously, Sun Qingkong's strength is still unable to shake Beerus. One punch didn't achieve anything, and Son Goku didn't get up. He continued to attack Beerus with a combination of fists and kicks. Clap clap. Beerus still has one hand, blocking all of Son Goku's attacks. Although the speed of the two seems to be very slow at this time. But for Vegeta and Piccolo on the ground, they can't see clearly at all. They can only see the explosion circles in the sky, and the shock waves generated by the collision of forces in circles. Bang bang bang. Son Goku was still attacking widely, but all the attacks were easily blocked by Beerus. Broly, have you seen the way the two of them fight? Especially Son Goku's fighting style, do you think this fighting style is correct? Lu Yu looked at Broly and asked. Master Lu Yu, I think Son Goku's attack is too weak. For an attack like his, even without transforming, I can defeat him in an instant. Broly said confidently. Tell me, Lu Yu continued. Margarita once taught me that no matter when attacking or defending, we should try our best to avoid such open and closed attacks. Because such an attack will not only slow down the speed and strength, but also consume a terrible amount of energy. Broly said succinctly. In fact, in the past, my attack method was similar to that of Son Goku. All relying on pure strength to bombard wildly. But such an attack consumes quite a lot of his physical energy. Moreover, the length of the attack distance will slow down one's own speed and weaken one's own strength. Makarita was right. Actually, many of Son Goku's former masters taught him this truth, but it seems that after he became Super Saiyan, he forgot these things. Lu Yu said lightly. After finishing speaking, he continued to look at the battle between the two. As a time traveler, Lu Yu is naturally very familiar with people like Son Goku. Son Goku grew up with many masters, including his grandpa Son Gohan, and later Master Roshi, Karin Immortal, Old God and King Kai, etc. Although these masters of his are very average in their own strength. But what they taught Son Goku, each one is useful. Like King Kai taught Son Goku's Kaioken and Spirit Bomb. It's almost Son Goku's trump card. There is also the Kamehameha wave taught by Master Roshi, which has almost become a symbolic move of Son Goku. Then there is the old god of the Tenjin Temple, who once taught Son Goku how to defend and attack. As calm as the sky when defending, as sharp as a rabbit when attacking. These things Son Goku may remember from his childhood. But with the growth of his strength, especially after Vegeta and two of these people, it seems that energy and combat effectiveness have become the standard to measure a person's own strength. He has left some basic martial arts behind. It's so fast, I can't see their movements at all. Son Gohan raised his head and said with horror on his face. Goku who became Super Saiyan God has indeed become extremely powerful. Keelan also nodded. Although I can't feel Son Goku's breath, I can feel his strength. Although Super Saiyan God is very strong, but after attacking so many times, Goku didn't remember Beerus even once. Piccolo saw it more clearly than they did, and said with a frown. In this way, even Goku, who became Super Saiyan God, seems to still have a big gap between gods of destruction Beerus. Whoosh whoosh. Above the sky, Son Goku is still attacking with wide open and wide. Beerus still blocked all of Son Goku's fists calmly with one hand. What the hell is going on here? Obviously, I have all my strength, such a huge improvement. But Master Beerus still seems to be playing with me. Son Goku raised his eyebrows slightly, thinking to himself. Logically speaking, even if I am not as strong as Master Beerus now, the gap will not be so obvious anyway. What's wrong, Son Goku? Super Saiyan God only has this power. Beerus said jokingly, feeling a little regretful in his heart. After waiting for so long, Super Saiyan has only so little power. It did make him feel a little lost. Then I'll let you taste my Kamehameha waves. Son Goku looked determined, and suddenly made a flower shape with his hands. The blue energy is instantly condensed from the palms of both palms. Kamehameha wave. After spitting out one word at a time, Son Goku suddenly pushed his hands forward. Ki blast blasted directly at Beerus. Boring attack. Beerus put his hands behind his back and didn't pay attention to Son Goku's Kamehameha wave at all. When it was almost close to his body, he kicked it out directly. Kamehameha bow was kicked and turned around, and flew out into space. Doesn't even Kamehameha wave have any effect on him? Watching Beerus kick his own Kamehameha wave with ease, Son Goku's face became more serious. He has indeed brought out his Super Saiyan God, the full power. But I didn't expect that there is still such a huge difference between Beerus and Beerus. It seems that you have no other whole cards. If this is the case, then this battle can be over. The two guys below seem to be more interesting. Beerus glanced at Son Goku boredly, then said to Lu and Broly who were sitting on the cruise ship. The Saiyan sitting on the cruise ship seems to be stronger than Son Goku who is now Super Saiyan God. This point, I can feel it. So it can arouse his desire to fight even more. And the other guy next to that Saiyan. Although I can't perceive anything from his body, no matter whether it is the breath of human beings or the breath of gods, there is no trace. But he didn't act so ordinary. On the contrary, he should be more interesting. Because Shenron's expression towards him before seemed to be full of fear and fear. Master Beerus, it is undeniable that you are indeed ridiculously strong. Even if I have become Super Saiyan God, there is still an unbridgeable gap between you and me. However, this battle will not end so easily. Son Goku clenched his fists and said seriously. Almost at the moment when he finished speaking, he suddenly shouted loudly. Ha ha! A deep roar came from the throat, and then a flame-like aura erupted from Son Goku's body instantly. Wrapped Son Goku directly in it. And at the moment when the gas flame erupted, the temperature of the entire earth suddenly increased at that moment. Son Goku's breath of God is also completely different from before. Hey, it turns out that I still have a little strength just now. Quote. Then let's play with you again. Beerus glanced at Son Goku slightly surprised. Lord Beerus, come again. Quote. After unleashing all his strength, Son Goku clenched his fists and rushed towards Beerus again. This time Son Goku is obviously faster than before. Even Vegeta couldn't see Son Goku's movements clearly at this moment. The only ones who can see clearly are Liu Yu, Whis and Broly. Whoosh! Son Goku blasted out with a punch, and Beerus was still palm to hand. Snapped. This time, Son Goku's strength has been significantly improved. One punch actually knocked Beerus back more than a dozen feet. What? Beerus's face changed. Obviously he was a little too careless just now. Or he didn't take Son Goku seriously at all, so he made a mistake. Hey, finally played, Wong got the effect. Looks like I'm slowly starting to master the power of Super Saiyan God. After knocking Beerus back with one punch, Son Goku looked at his fist with a smile. After the outbreak just now, the power is indeed stronger than before. Stop getting carried away, you fool. Beerus seemed humiliated by being knocked back by a punch. The moment he bared his teeth, his body flashed out. In an instant, he was in front of Son Goku, and Son Goku didn't even have time to react. Come on. The punch hit Son Goku directly in the lower abdomen. A mouthful of acid water mixed with blood spewed out from Son Goku's mouth in an instant. Before Son Goku could react, Beerus turned his body 360 degrees and hit his neck heavily with his right leg. Swish! Son Goku's body suddenly fell like a meteorite. In a straight line, it crashed directly into the sea. Puff! Rumble! Son Goku's body plunged into the sea, and 1,000 layers of huge waves suddenly piled up. Immediately afterwards, the surface of the lake seemed to be boiling, and waves of ripple spread out in all directions. Even mega yachts are teetering. What? Kakarot, actually lost. This idiot has absorbed the power of so many of us, yet he is still so unbearable. If he had known about it, he would have replaced me. Seeing Son Goku plunged into the sea, Vegeta's face was very ugly. At the same time, I was very shocked. Unexpectedly, Kakarot, who absorbed the Saiyan power of 5 of them and then turned into Super Saiyan God, was helpless in front of gods of destruction. In other words, the strength of gods of destruction is simply not what they can imagine. Quote. Dad, surprise and worry were written on everyone's faces. Surprised because after Son Goku became a god, he still can't compare with gods of destruction. And looking at the battle just now, there seems to be a huge difference between them. But because if even Son Goku, who became a Super Saiyan God, can't stand against gods of destruction, who can stop this guy? He just said that if Son Goku is defeated, then he will destroy the whole earth. Now Goku has shown signs of defeat. This is not to say that the planet Earth is in jeopardy now. Oh, looks like the rival in Master Beerus's dream is not him. Whis said calmly. After finishing speaking, he glanced at Liu Yu again. It seems that that guy is more like Lord Beerus's rival. However, his strength is estimated to be difficult for even himself to defeat, and the strength of Lord Beerus is absolutely far from him. Maybe, is it the Saiyan next to him? Because the power of that Saiyan is indeed a bit stronger than Son Goku, who turned into Super Saiyan God. Just when everyone was surprised and worried, a layer of waves suddenly rolled up on the surface of the lake, and Son Goku's body soared into the sky. Hoo hoo! At this time, Son Goku was wet. Panting heavily, he wiped the corner of his mouth. Beerus's two understated attacks made him feel that the energy in his body was completely out of order. This is enough to show that it is impossible for him to be his opponent. Even becoming Super Saiyan God, there is a huge difference between him and him. Oh, can you still stand up? You surprised me a bit. Beerus looked at Son Goku slightly surprised, then said. Son Goku, who thought he had been attacked twice by himself, would never be able to stand up even if he was not unconscious. But he actually appeared in front of him again, which really surprised him a bit. Master Beerus is truly unimaginably powerful. But I won't give up so easily. Son Goku gave a helpless wry smile. Because there is not much energy in his body to support it. Now his strength, after being attacked twice, is less than 3/3 of the peak period. How could he possibly be the opponent of Lord Beerus? It's interesting, the fighting spirit is quite tenacious. But combat awareness does not represent strength. No matter how many times you can stand up, I will beat you to the ground. Beerus said with disdain. Of course, he has this confidence. Because Super Saiyan God looks weak to him now. Then, let's try it. Ha ha. Son Goku let out a yell, then clenched his fists and drew a posture. At that moment, the flame-like spiritual energy erupted in the body again. It's just that the moment the aura burst out, Son Goku changed again. The original purplish-red hair turned back to black, and the pupils also returned to normal. This also means that Son Goku has lost the power of God and returned to normal. It seems that because of the explosion just now, the remaining breath of God was directly consumed. What? How is this Kakarot guy becoming the norm? AJDH. How could this happen? Vegeta had a horrified look on his face. Of course, the others were also dumbfounded. Looking at Son Goku's posture just now, I thought he was going to explode into a stronger force. You know, there is nothing impossible for Saiyan. Breaking out in a desperate situation, this is something that often happens. But now, after the eruption, Son Goku not only did not gain more powerful power. On the contrary, the little breath of God left in his body was also exhausted. Oh, has the power of God in your body been exhausted? But it's no wonder, after all, it includes the power of other people, and it's not that you have truly reached the realm of God. Beerus glanced at Son Goku with a serious look of disappointment. Originally, he was a little disappointed with the power of Super Saiyan God. So Son Goku is back to normal, let him down even more. It seems that the so-called dream rival, Super Saiyan God, is really just an ordinary dream. Because of this level, he is not qualified to be his own rival. You don't even have the qualifications to be your own opponent. At this time, Son Goku naturally felt that he had returned to his normal form. However, he didn't intend to give up just like that. As soon as the fist passed, he rushed towards Beerus again. At this time, Son Goku's speed has become very slow, even Vegeta and Piccolo can clearly see his movements. Swish swish swish. Son Goku waved his fist stubbornly, but Beerus just stretched out a finger, and blocked all of Son Goku's fists. HMPH. Haven't you figured it out yet? You are no longer Super Saiyan God. And now your strength is about the same as that of an ant in front of me. Beerus said lightly. Ah, of course I know, but I won't give up like this. Son Goku smiled wryly, nodded, and said. But the movements in his hands didn't stop at all. It's over, Son Goku. I have to say that your will to fight has been recognized by me. But your current strength is still far behind. Compared to you, I'm more interested in those two guys. Beerus glanced at Liu Yu and Broly. He looked forward to fighting those two guys even more. The moment the voice fell, Beerus's body appeared behind Son Goku like a ghost. Then he raised the knife in his hand and chopped it down gently. Snapped. The moment the voice sounded, Son Goku opened his eyes suddenly, and then closed them slightly. But the body directly fell off the yacht. Boom. He fell heavily on the deck, and passed out in a coma. If Liu Yu and Broly weren't there, Son Goku would still be able to play well. But now, Beerus looks forward to fighting the other two even more. So naturally lost too much interest in Son Goku. Goku, Dad, Son Jun, Kakarot, everyone quickly gathered around Son Goku. Then Dend rushed over and helped Son Goku heal. At this time, Beerus's body had returned to the deck again, appearing in front of Brawley and Lu Yu. Hey, didn't you just say that Gods of Destruction is weak? Now, come and compete with me. I will make you feel the horror of Gods of Destruction, Beerus said, looking away from Brawley. The fight with Son Goku just now aroused his desire to fight. So my heart is still itchy. If there is no battle that makes people feel hearty, it will probably make me uncomfortable for a long time. And this guy in front of him should be stronger than Son Goku. This guy saw the battle between himself and Son Goku just now, and it is estimated that he will have a new understanding of the 3 words Gods of Destruction. Master Lu Yu. Brawley glanced at Lu Yu, as if asking for his approval. In fact, he couldn't wait, and wanted to compete with Beerus. This guy's arrogant posture made him very uncomfortable. Go. It just so happens that I can also see how your progress has been over the past 10 years. Lu Yu nodded and said. He could feel that Brawley's current strength was very strong, so even if he was not as good as Beerus, there shouldn't be much difference. After getting Lu Yu's affirmation, Brawley looked at Beerus with cold eyes. Then he said lightly, I still say that now, Gods of Destruction, too weak. Anyway, from the battle just now, he didn't see how powerful Gods of Destruction is. Because if I want to defeat the so-called Super Saiyan God, I can do it almost instantly. Cut. It's such a smug, life or death thing. How dare you challenge the bottom line of Gods of Destruction over and over again? If this is the case, then I will let you know the horror of Gods of Destruction. Beerus clenched his fists tightly, anger burst out from his inverted triangle eyes. I have never seen such a reckless Saiyan. Even among the human beings in the entire 7th universe, no one has ever dared to speak to themselves like this. Including the former Frieza who claimed to be the Emperor of the universe. Cut. Brawley snorted coldly, not afraid of Gods of Destruction at all. Afterwards, the bodies of the 2 appeared in midair at the same time. Lu Yu, is he your little brother? I just heard from Vegeta and the others that Gods of Destruction Beerus is very terrifying, can he handle it? Number 18 asked in a low voice beside Lu Yu. We must know that Vegeta and the others are still very powerful, even Majin Buu was taken away by them. I don't know if the one called Brawley can defeat Beerus. Hard to say, but if I'm not wrong, I probably can't beat it, Lu Yu said with a smile, holding No 18's hand. After all, Gods of Destruction Beerus is still very powerful. In addition to his own terrifying strength, this guy also mastered the Gods of Destruction skill, as well as Angel's Ultra Instinct. Although the realm of flavor perfection, even the imperfect Ultra Instinct is already strong. Ah, I can't beat it. Then why didn't you stop him? Number 18 asked with some incomprehension. Don't worry, even if you can't beat it, it doesn't matter. I just let him fight and practice his hands. Isn't there still me here? Lu Yu still said with a smile. Then he asked, by the way, why didn't they come on the 17th and 16th? I remember they were with you when I left. Lu Yu was indeed a little curious, because he hadn't seen number 16 and number 17 from the beginning. I wonder how the 2 of them are doing now. I remember my naughty little brother-in-law, it was quite fun. Number 17 left the villa shortly after you left, saying he had the life he wanted to live. We have been in touch for the past few years. He has already married and seems to have found a good job. When the 18th talked about the 17th, his face was quite happy. After all, he is the older sister of number 17, and seeing his younger brother get married and have a stable job, he is naturally very happy when the family is harmonious. Then he continued. Number 16 has also been self-reliant very early. Although he is a robot, he has already integrated into human life. And I heard that many people in the place where he works are quite welcoming of him. Although number 16 is a powerful man-made robot, but he never abused his great power. Unless he solves a crisis for others, like when Majin Buu appears, he will naturally come forward. Oh, so, are you the only one staying in the villa for 10 years? Lu Yu was still a little surprised. 0. Staying alone in such a big villa for 10 years would probably be very boring, right? How is it possible? Of course I'm not alone. I also found some good sisters to play with me, number 18 said playfully. It seems that she has changed a lot from 10 years ago. You must know that the number 18 10 years ago was not cold as ice, but it was still very cold to people. Even to himself, he has never had such a playful smile. So it is. That's good. Lu Yu nodded. If no one was with number 18, the past few years would indeed be difficult. Meanwhile, in the sky, Brawly and Beerus stood facing each other. There was a serious light in the eyes of both of them. Hey, both Son Goku and Vegeta can transform, and you are also a Saiyan, at least you should be able to become a Super Saiyan too. Beerus said in a cold tone. If this guy doesn't become a Super Saiyan, then this battle will be too boring. Brawly didn't speak, but clenched his fists. His brows frowned suddenly, and the blue-gold flames erupted from his body instantly. And at that moment, Brawly's hair directly turned golden yellow, and his pupils were also golden yellow. This is different from when Son Goku and Vegeta became Super Saiyan. Rustle. Green gold flames continuously linger around the body. Although not much action, but all the fighters present changed color because of the powerful aura released by Brawly. Because they could clearly feel that Brawly's violent aura was extremely powerful. They have never felt such a strong breath. Are you kidding me? Is this the Super Saiyan form? Why is it so powerful? After feeling that incomparable and unfathomable aura, Vegeta was completely stunned. This breath, even Kakarot, who has become Super Saiyan 3, is completely incomparable. Just becoming a Super Saiyan, such an earth-shaking change has taken place. It's so strong, even stronger than when I became Super Saiyan God just now. At this time, Son Goku's injuries had been healed, and looking at Brawly, he was equally horrified. As for Piccolo and Son Gohan and others, they were shocked beyond measure. You must know that Son Goku and Vegeta are also Saiyan, but after becoming Super Saiyan, their strength is not very strong. Especially for them now, Son Goku and Vegeta of Super Saiyan are really average. But this Saiyan suddenly appeared in front of him, and it should be in the form of Saiyan now. But his aura not only surpasses Son Goku of Super Saiyan 3, it may even be stronger than Son Goku of Super Saiyan God. This is something that is completely incomprehensible to them. It's so strong, it feels like the whole earth is filled. Tien Shinhan said with a look of horror. No, it should not be as simple as the earth, its gas is beyond our imagination. Piccolo corrected again. This breath is so powerful that it is outrageous, so powerful that they cannot imagine it. Even Whis, who was on the side, stopped to continue enjoying the food in front of him, but looked at Brawly. What a huge amount of energy. Just one transformation, there is such a huge amount of energy, it feels much stronger than Super Saiyan God Son Goku just now. And I can feel that there is a stronger power in his body. It looks like Master Beerus can have a good time this time. Whis whispered to himself. He really didn't see that Brawly had such great power. It is estimated that even Master Beerus will not be able to defeat him in a while. But at this time in the sky, after feeling Brawly's huge aura, Beerus's eyes narrowed slightly. It seemed to be a look of surprise. The Super Saiyan God he is looking for is already vulnerable in front of him. But this guy doesn't have any divine aura in his body. But the power is really amazing. Unexpectedly, there is such a special existence in Saiyan, which made him feel a little surprised. Not bad, it's a little stronger than I thought. No wonder you uttered such wild words before. Looking at Brawly, who has become a Super Saiyan, Beerus said lightly. Cut. Brawly grinned, with a war-thirsty look in his eyes. After becoming Super Saiyan, it seems that the militant factor in the body that does not work hard is also awakened. Ha ha, Brawly suddenly roared. Green gold flames suddenly swirled around the body, and ripples immediately spread in all directions. Beerus narrowed his eyes even tighter. Because this guy's power is indeed beyond his imagination. And it doesn't seem so easy to defeat him. Of course, at the same time, he also felt extremely excited. You must know that he has lived in the God realm for hundreds of millions of years, and he basically has no opponents other than Master Whis. But when fighting Whis, because the gap between the two is too big, it's not interesting at all. This is the entire 7th universe, and it is simply impossible for humans to be their opponents. That's why I urgently want to find the Super Saiyan God in my dream and compete with him. In fact, it is just to relieve the loneliness and boredom in my heart. Now a guy who is more powerful than Super Saiyan appears, which naturally makes him feel excited. After Brawly burst out with a powerful aura, his body flashed suddenly, and he was in front of Beerus in an instant. Without any hesitation, he punched out directly. His purpose is very simple, that is to get rid of this spirited cat as soon as possible. Cut, something that is beyond its control, dares to take the initiative to attack. Beerus let out a disdainful shatter, and then punched out with the same punch. Boom, hum, the moment the two fists touched each other, there was a dull crashing sound. At the same time, the whole world seems to be quiet for 0.1 seconds. After that, an extremely terrifying shock wave spread out in a huge circle. Boom boom. Immediately, the whole earth trembled violently. The surface of the water was sparkling, and waves swept in all directions, and with a distance of tens of thousands of feet, mountains followed one after another, and finally turned into dust. 1 second before the middle wave erupted, Lu Yu gently tiptoed, and a silver-white energy barrier instantly included the giant wheel. Even though there are huge waves rolling on the sea surface, it has no effect on the giant ship. It's such a powerful force. Just one punch can destroy the entire Earth. No 18's face was full of surprise. It was just a tentative punch. If the two of them used 1/10 of their strength, they could easily destroy the entire galaxy. Lu Yu said with a smile. Then, the toes tapped the ground lightly again. Suddenly, a huge energy barrier surrounded Brawly and Beerus's bodies. If the two of them are allowed to continue fighting like this, then the entire Earth will definitely be destroyed in an instant. This is something he doesn't want to see. In any case, number 18 is already used to being on Earth. And on the 16th and 17th, they can be regarded as my friends. Watching them being destroyed along with the Earth, I still don't want to. Good guy. The power is really good. But this time, I wonder if you can continue. While surprised, Beerus punched out again. This time, his strength has improved significantly. Gee, Brawly sneered. Then another fist was also swung out. Boom, boom boom. The fists of the two collided again, and there was an ear-piercing buzzing sound at the moment of contact. This is because the shock wave hit the energy barrier. But this punch, although more powerful than before. But the Earth has not been affected by half. In the two encounters, neither Beerus nor Brawly had an advantage. Whoosh whoosh, boom boom boom. The two punched again, each punch could tear apart the space, and the shaking air swished. At this time, Son Goku, Vegeta and others on the deck were completely dumbfounded. Although it has long been thought that Brawly may be very strong. But I didn't expect it to be so strong. On par with Beerus. Bang bang bang. The two were still clashing fists, but every time they collided, they seemed to be evenly matched. Beerus didn't have much of an upper hand. Good guy, it seems that I really underestimated you, you actually have such a powerful force. At this moment, Beerus was not unhappy because of Brawly's strong strength, but was even more excited. Because he was struggling to find the so-called Super Saiyan God, just to be able to fight happily. But it was clear that Son Goku as Super Saiyan God was no match for him at all. He was disappointed at first, but after seeing Brawly's strength, he became more and more excited. However, gods of destruction is impossible to defeat anyway. So you should wake up early. After Beerus said a word, he clenched his fists vigorously, and purple flames erupted from his body instantly. Like a flame, it burns around the body. And Beerus's breath of God also got an explosive boost at that moment. Although Brawly couldn't feel Beerus's divine aura, he could feel the sense of danger. Gods of destruction are not undefeated. Brawly said something coldly. Then he also clenched his fist. Ha ha, a deep roar came out of his throat again. Like an angry roaring beast. At the same time, the azure golden flames around Raleig's body directly turned into grass green. At the same time, Brawly's hair also changed, and the original golden hair turned green directly. The eyes are full of violence. The body is more than 30 centimeters better than before, and it is even more burly. What? Did this retain his own power? Are you kidding? Can a Saiyan's power reach this level before becoming a god? Beerus was even more startled. I thought that he could reach the level just now, but I was already surprised. But now, the strength has actually been further improved. And it got an explosive boost. This is indeed what he did not expect. At this time, Son Goku and Vegeta on the deck were completely dumbfounded. Because they could never have dreamed that Saiyan's power would reach this level. And more importantly, he didn't turn into Super Saiyan 2 or 3. More did not become Super Saiyan God. What happened? Why did that guy's hair turn green? Is this also a Super Saiyan transformation? Why haven't I seen it before? Keelan, Piccolo and others on the side looked at a loss. Although they have seen Goku and Vegeta transforming into Super Saiyan many times. However, Saiyan has never seen her hair turn green. What's going on, you know? Vegeta, Son Goku asked curiously. Although he is also a Saiyan, he doesn't know much after all. Especially about Saiyan's secrets, he knows very little. After all, he grew up on Earth as long as he could remember. Hearing Son Goku's question and seeing everyone's puzzled expressions, Vegeta frowned and explained, "If I'm not wrong, this guy should be the mutated Saiyan, also known as the legendary Super Saiyan." Quote, "In the past, he did have such a legend. But never seriously. Unexpectedly, today, I actually saw the legendary Super Saiyan. The moment that guy transformed just now, he felt great pressure. If I don't have the strength of Super Saiyan 2, it is estimated that this pressure alone will make me a little overwhelmed. So it's almost certain that this guy is of the legendary Super Saiyan blood. That's why I feel so depressed." The legendary Super Saiyan. Son Goku murmured next. He felt as if he was similar to them, both of them were the legendary Super Saiyan. But why is there such a big gap in strength? In the barrier, Broly and Beerus had another fierce confrontation. The two kept exchanging fists. Every time there is a collision, the barrier will make a piercing buzzing sound. Time passed by every minute and every second, and a full half an hour passed. But the two still couldn't decide the winner. There seems to be infinite power in Broly's body, and he doesn't know how tired he is. And Beerus, as the gods of destruction, seems to have infinite power. After fighting on par with Broly for so long, he still didn't show any sign of decadence. Roar! At this moment, Broly suddenly roared. A terrifying energy wave shot out from the mouth, and then blasted towards Beerus. Cut. Difficult guy. Quote. Beerus frowned, and directly said Pabuurchin in a low voice. A purple beam of light shot out from the fingertip in an instant. Bark. The moment the two energy waves came into contact, Broly's energy disappeared without a trace. Whoosh. After easily destroying Broly's energy, Beerus flashed his body and appeared in front of Broly in an instant. Then he punched Broly hard in the face. Boom. The terror of Beerus's power directly sent Broly flying with a punch, and then smashed heavily on the energy barrier. Do you really think that the majestic gods of destruction can't deal with you? After blasting Broly away with a punch, Beerus said with a cold face. At that moment just now, he showed all his strength. Originally, he didn't have such a plan, but if he didn't use all his strength, he probably wouldn't be able to defeat Saiyan. Hateful. After being punched flying, Broly once again showed a crazy look. Clench your fists tightly, the green on your arms explodes. Whoosh. The next moment, he rushed towards Beerus angrily. Boom boom boom. The two fought fiercely again. But as time went on, it became clear that something was wrong with Broly's fitness. Perhaps Beerus had already pulled out all his strength, so Broly felt the strain. After all, Beerus was stronger than him in the first place. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.